I knew it was coming. I absolutely knew it was coming because of how orchestrated it was. The only thing, and I'll state this at the beginning, the only reason I'm upset by being canceled is because I've expired one of my lives. Because first you get canceled, then they make up a reason to put you in jail, and if that fails, they kill you.
Andrew Tate has been arrested in Romania on suspicion of human trafficking and forming an organised crime group.
The Matrix has attacked me.
He's a deeply controversial online influencer.
When I talk about the Matrix, I'm talking about the systems which have been created by society, which are deliberately designed to enslave.
Who has been taken off multiple platforms, including Facebook and Instagram, for promoting hate speech and misogynistic commentary.
In the movie, the Matrix were used for our body heat, but here in this Matrix, we're used for our efforts and our energies.
He's recently tweeted a video of him alongside some pizza boxes belonging to a Romanian company.
And you're existing inside of a system which is deliberately rigged to make the rich richer and for the poor to stay poor.
Greta Thunberg were reacting in the last half an hour or so, tweeting, "This is what happens when you don't recycle your pizza boxes." So reacting to that news of his.
She doesn't miss a trick, does she?
Alright guys, so once again we got to talk about this Andrew Tate story, which is probably the biggest story in the world right now, as he was arrested, or put it this way, he was peacefully walked out of his home after his home was raided by police in connections to an investigation involving alleged human trafficking and Me Too allegations. Now, if you guys have not seen a video of this raid by the police, there's actually more footage that has come out, like actual full footage. And I want to go ahead and show you guys just in case you haven't seen it. Take a look.
Nothing else? No. Okay. Can go.
Piece of lie.
At the table. Okay.
Yeah, so you guys seen that, you heard that. This is the second time Andrew Tate's home has been raided this year for the same allegations / investigation. The first time they did this, they didn't find anything and they let Andrew Tate go. No formal charges, nothing like that. But apparently, again, this is an ongoing investigation and this is the second raid as a part of that investigation. But this time, this is getting a lot more attention as it comes during a time in which Andrew Tate was trolling Greta Thunberg, the climate change woman, girl, whatever you can call her, right? On Twitter about the emissions in his cars, in which Greta at one point had responded to him saying that Andrew Tate has little d energy, okay? And the left celebrated this, okay? Greta got celebrated for telling the alleged misogynist that he has little d energy, which again, I find to be fascinating considering how these people hate misogyny so much. That's why they hate Andrew Tate, because allegedly he's a misogynist and he also has opinions that doesn't agree with the left. But they're openly celebrating misandry coming from Greta Thunberg, because we all know what the response would have been if Andrew Tate would have commented on Greta Thunberg's body parts, her sexual body parts. Okay, if he would have said something about her vagina or her breasts, we all know the backlash that would have happened. But it's totally fine to say something about a man's penis. That's totally fair game. Again, the double standard here is absolutely amazing. It really is. That's neither here nor there. It low-key bothers me because I know in my mind a lot of these women that are always on this, you know, low D energy stuff, they can't really take the D, right? Whether it's little or big, because when they're getting their cheeks clapped, they're always hitting you with this move right here. Putting their hand on your stomach, pushing you back, right? Because they can't take the D. So I'm just saying, these little D energy women that love talking about that, a lot of times they can't take no D, right? That's why it just really bothers me, because I'm like, a lot of these women that are on this stuff, they don't like Big D, right? They don't really like that. They don't really want what they claim they want. But anyways, again, that's besides the point. I can make a whole nother video about that. I would never make a video about that, but I'm just saying that's a whole nother topic. The point is that the left is praising Greta Thunberg as the hero that took down the big bad misogynist Andrew Tate, okay? Because apparently, according to a new left-wing conspiracy theory, the way that the Romanian authorities were able to locate Andrew Tate is because he had a pizza box in his response to Greta Thunberg, okay? And they're saying that Andrew Tate basically revealed his own location. He doxed himself, which, again, is a completely ridiculous theory, considering how the authorities should easily have the ability to track who comes in and out of a country, right? I don't think they need a pizza box in order to know that Andrew Tate was actually in the country, especially considering the fact that he tweeted that he was in the country like on Christmas Day or something like that. But again, the left wants to give Greta Thunberg this W so bad, okay? And she's ran with it, and they're taking a victory lap when it comes to this whole situation. Now, what I want to talk about here is some of the reactions from the left and the right about Andrew Tate and the support of Andrew Tate, or Andrew Tate being some type of right-wing figure, okay, or conservative, which is not really the case. I don't think that he is conservative. He may have opinions that definitely lean more right, and probably on the right side of the spectrum, but I don't think it is fair to try to mischaracterize conservatives simply because Andrew Tate tends to agree with some of the things that people on the right tend to agree with. And I want to talk more about that. But first, I want to give you guys an update on this situation, because he was arrested / detained recently, a day ago, and it looks like he's going to be detained at least for another 30 days. So let's read about this. Authorities in Romania said police served search warrants on Thursday at 5 homes and took 4 suspects into custody, 2 Britons and 2 Romanians, as part of the investigation. Romania's Directorate for Investigating Organized Crime and Terrorism, DETAINED, said the 4 suspects had been detained for an initial 24 hours. A Bucharest court accepted an application by DETAINED to hold Tate and his brother Tristan in custody for a further 30 days, their lawyer Eugene Bladanek said on Friday. Speaking to journalists outside the court, Bladanek said the decision would be appealed. From our perspective, there's no grounds for taking the most drastic preventative measures provided by the Criminal Procedure Code, he added, according to Reuters. DETAINED alleged that the 4 suspects formed an organized criminal group that stretched from Romania to Britain and the United States for the purpose of committing the crime of human trafficking. The authorities alleged the 2 of the suspects misled the victims into believing that they intended to enter into a marriage / cohabitation relationship while transporting victims to Romania and later sexually exploiting them with physical violence and coercion. All right, so this is what I want to talk about, because there's a whole lot of conversation going on online about Andrew Tate and his political leanings, right? People on the left are saying that he's MAGA, right? Like, for example, Rashard Ritchie, his show is saying that Andrew Tate is MAGA. I'm not sure if Andrew Tate supports Trump. I think he came out here and said some things that were nice about Trump, but I'm not sure if he actually voted for Trump, right? Is he actually a real Trump supporter or what? I never heard him say he was a Republican or that he's particularly conservative. Obviously, if you listen to his opinions definitely tend to lean more right. There is overlap between, you know, right-leaning ideology / conservative ideology in the manosphere and the red pill, something I've talked about before with you guys, that there is a lot of overlap there. But that doesn't mean that Andrew Tate politically is, you know, a conservative or Republican or anything like that. But that doesn't matter. It's going to not stop the left from making this accusation, just like they're automatically assuming that the guy is guilty of the crimes that they're alleging him of doing, which I'm saying that I personally don't know. I'm not saying whether he's guilty or not guilty. You're supposed to be innocent until proven guilty, but you know, Andrew Tate has come out on camera and said himself that, you know, he was running some type of OnlyFans operation where, you know, girls would work for him and stuff like that. And that type of stuff, you get into a lot of sticky business, right? And you know, I wouldn't be surprised if it goes either way. I wouldn't be surprised if this is an operation from the Matrix, which is what Andrew Tate is saying, right? What they're coming after him simply because he's saying things that the left, the liberals disagree with, right? And he's becoming bigger and bigger and bigger. He's a threat. Wouldn't be surprised if that's the case, but also wouldn't be surprised if he's guilty. Again, considering some of the things he said in the past about some of the business ventures, the sketchy business ventures that he's been involved in. But what I really want to talk about here is a mistake that people make when they think that just because you agree with some of the things that somebody says, that means that you agree with who they are as a person or everything they do or everything that they say. That's simply not the case, because these same leftists that are trying to smear people on the right as supporting human trafficking and, you know, defending that and whatnot, because some people are defending Andrew Tate, considering that we don't have any evidence from the police authorities that, you know, he engaged in the crimes that they're saying that he's been investigated for. There's been no charges, nothing like that. It's just simply been an investigation. They're trying to say, well, you must support human trafficking. Again, the same people that ignored Epstein, right? They ignored that story because that involved a whole bunch of left-wing politicians that they like. They want to lecture people on the right about this. And then there's also the Me Too allegations, which, again, to me is funny because all these people support Joe Biden, who also has Me Too allegations, right? I'm just saying, so if you're going to say that, well, you know, just because I agree with some things that Andrew Tate says, that means I agree with everything he does, he says, okay, great. Then that means that, you know, you agree with Joe Biden, you voted for Joe Biden, you love Joe Biden, therefore you agree with everything he does, including, you know, the Me Too stuff, right? You agree with that as well too. Clearly that's what you agree with, right? If that's the game that we're playing. Again, that's a very silly thing to say. So I just want to, you know, touch on this because it's something that I'm seeing in regards to conservatives, you know, having this conversation about Andrew Tate and being like, oh, well, you know, some conservatives are embracing him and, you know, blah, blah, blah. Is he some type of, you know, conservative figure? Whatever. I'm like, no, I don't think anybody ever say that Andrew Tate is conservative. I think people just say, look, well, Andrew Tate is saying some things that we tend to agree with that, you know, hey, he's putting out there to the public. He's creating public debate about. Doesn't mean that we agree with everything that he says, right? Or everything that he does. Clearly, that's not the case, right? Clearly, I don't agree with Andrew Tate from a moral perspective on a variety of issues like the human trafficking thing, the alleged, you know, OnlyFans business, you know, some of the other things that he says about the roles between men and women. Even though I agree with a lot of it, I don't agree with all of it. There's things I disagree with. But again, there are a lot of things I tend to agree with. The things that I tend to agree with, in my opinion, aren't all that controversial, right? They're controversial to the left, but they're not that controversial to me. So all I'm saying is this, you know, I think that this situation is extremely weird. I think this situation is extremely sketchy. It could definitely be the case that he's being targeted simply because he is speaking out on things. He is saying things that they, right, don't like. Or it could be the case that he legitimately is, you know, a bad guy who, you know, is trafficking women and doing all types of other, you know, very sketchy and immoral and bad, degenerate things. That could be the case as well, too. I'm simply saying I don't know. I believe in innocent until proven guilty. And until we see some actual concrete evidence from the police, I think that it is safe to hold off on making any type of judgment or jump into assumptions without the evidence and without him actually, you know, going to trial, going to court, and actually, you know, being proven guilty of a crime. I mean, you can be investigated. That doesn't necessarily mean that you're guilty, just like they investigated Matt Gaetz for something similar over here in the United States. Not to Andrew Tate's level, not those type of allegations, but similar trafficking. The left ran with it as if it was fact, and then come to find out he's not being charged, right? But there was an investigation. However, he wasn't charged, right? He wasn't charged. So again, until Andrew Tate is charged and found guilty, I think the left might want to be careful on this one before jumping to conclusions. However, I'm not the type of person that is going to say that there is no possibility that he could be guilty. I simply don't know, and I think that we live in a society where people are, you know, too afraid to simply just say they don't know, right? Or to withhold judgment until all the information comes out. Everybody wants to be quick to, you know, have a judgment on something when, again, none of us really know what's going on here. Nobody really knows. So let me know what you guys think. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Most importantly, share a Black conservative perspective. Peace.